The rules that he follows are that he wants to be liberated from this terrible job of reading the map inside this box. So he's not very cooperative and he only does the bare minimum necessary. And once he accomplishes his task, he gets to open the box and run off into the woods or whatever and be happy with the other homunculi. So here are the things he can do. You can tell him to put a dot on the map in one of the 4 cardinal directions of the map. But a dot isn't very fun, so let's say it's a Waffle House. He's planning to build a Waffle House by putting this dot somewhere on this map. You can tell him to put a Waffle House on the west side of the map, for instance. And what he's going to do then is fold the map in such a way so that the part that's showing is just the west half of the map, and he puts a dot somewhere randomly on that map. You don't know where the Waffle House is other than it's somewhere on the west half of the map. Once he's drawn his Waffle House, he's only willing to do one more thing, and that is to answer a single yes or no question about the location of the Waffle House. The next person who asks him whether the Waffle House is on the north or south or east or west half of the map, he will answer either yes or no, but he's only going to answer one of those questions, then he's going to eat the map or something, destroy the map, and run off into the woods. Those are the rules of the homunculus. They're a little bit strange, but this is sort of the way that we're going to have our quantum photons work. So the way this process is going to work is that Alice is going to dip into her infinite supply of boxed homunculi and tell each one to put a Waffle House on this or that side of their maps, essentially at random. Bob is going to be receiving deliveries of these boxes of homunculi, and he's going to be asking each box questions about the locations of their Waffle Houses. So when Alice needs to send a box with a homunculus in it over the public channel, she's going to use the Homunculus Delivery Service. This is our public channel. And this is a truck that's driven by this somewhat suspicious character named Eve, who's not necessarily to be trusted not to interfere with the communications. The best that Alice and Bob can do is to send the homunculus through Eve's service and try to tell if Eve has monkeyed with anything in the process by asking questions of the homunculus in the box. Once the two of them are done with this protocol, Bob is going to tell Alice which questions he asked of which box. He's not going to tell her which answer he got. The only thing Alice is going to tell Bob is whether he's going to throw out the answer or keep it. Each answer Bob keeps will end up being a bit in their secret key. Last, they're actually going to sacrifice part of their key to check to see if Eve was stealing their homunculus boxes, asking them questions about their Waffle Houses and replacing them with new phony ones that she tries to make copy the ones that Alice actually sent. So, for the first box, let's say Alice tells the first homunculus to put a Waffle House on the south side of the map. Eve picks up the box, and sometime later, a box is delivered to Bob. Let's say Eve doesn't interfere with anything for the moment. We'll go through the whole process later, assuming that Eve does. Bob picks a random compass direction and asks the homunculus, "Is the Waffle House on the south side?" And the homunculus says yes, because he looks at the map and there's definitely a dot there. Alice asks the next homunculus to put the Waffle House on the south side again, and the homunculus puts the Waffle House on the south side of the map at random. There's a 50-50 chance that this will be on the west side or the east side of the south half of the map. So Bob asks the homunculus, once it arrives, if the Waffle House is on the west side of the map. He gets a random answer from the homunculus this time because there's a 50-50 probability there. Let's say the homunculus says yes and then runs off into the woods. For the next one, Alice tells the homunculus to put the Waffle House on the west side. Bob is going to ask if it's on the east side. And when he does, he's guaranteed to get a certain answer. And the Waffle House is definitely not on the east side of the map, so the homunculus says no. For the next one, Alice tells the homunculus to put the Waffle House on the north side, say, and Bob asks, "Is the Waffle House on the north side?" He gets a definite yes there. For the last one, Alice chooses north for the next location of the Waffle House. Let's say Bob asks it whether it's on the east side. He gets a no from the homunculus, who's equally likely to give a yes or a no for that one. Now, they would normally do this many, many times, thousands and thousands of times, but for the sake of brevity, we're going to stop right here with our minimal example. So now Bob calls Alice on the phone, again, a public channel, but maybe it goes off a satellite that goes through Eve's satellite company, and Eve can listen in on this part.
Alice, hi, this is Bob. I'm just calling to confirm our key code.
Alice tells him whether to keep the answer or throw the answer out.
Keep it.
Bob does not tell Alice the answer he
Throw it
got.
away.
Alice does not tell Bob which side of the map she told each homunculus to put the Waffle House on. So for the first box he received, Bob tells Alice that he asked it whether it was on the south side. Alice says, keep your answer, because she knows that he got a yes for that answer. For the next one, Bob says, I asked it whether the Waffle House was on the west side. Alice says, throw that answer out, because she has no idea which answer he got. It was 50-50 probability on that one. For the next one, Bob says east side. Alice says keep it, because she knows that he got a no for that answer. For the next one, Bob says north side. Alice says keep it, because she knows that Bob got a yes for that answer. For the last one, Bob says east side, and Alice says throw it out, because again, she doesn't know which answer he got. So at this point in the process, Alice knows that Bob got a yes for the first one, a no from the third one, and a yes from the fourth one. Therefore, they share a piece of secret information. This is their secret key. It's a 3-bit number, and you could say that the yeses are ones and the nos are zeros, or vice versa. But the point is that they now share the same information. Alice knows that this would be a 101, and Bob knows the same information, but they've never actually discussed that information over the public channel.